And good evening, everyone, and happy Labor Day weekend. This is the Labor Day special of Drink with Rick. Normally, this is the Saturday night wine stream, but tonight is a Sunday night just before Labor Day. We're having a Sunday night wine stream. Actually, this isn't a wine stream. Tonight, this is a beer stream. So we're having a Sunday night beer stream on Drink with Rick. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Doesn't really matter, does it? We're drinking, and hopefully we're all drinking together. Now, if you're joining me for the first time or the 216th time, because this is the 216th episode of Drink with Rick, this special is the 216th episode. This is a stream of consciousness kind of show. I do have my show notes, as always, and they're right here with me, they're right here. And it's actually a short show. We're only doing an hour show tonight, maybe a little less. Unless, of course, everyone gets in the chats and really chats it up, then we'll take it longer. But I've got a 1 hour show planned, pretty much. This is a stream of consciousness kind of show. And the chats really they decide where the show is going to go, pretty much. I do have this itinerary here, but you decide the show. Because this show isn't about me, the show is somewhat about the beer tonight, and it's really, a lot of it's really about Labor Day, but the show is really, when it gets right down to it, the show is really about you and me getting together on a Labor Day weekend with our favorite libations, our favorite snacks, just enjoying the Labor Day weekend and just having a good time together. That's what it's about. Now, we don't talk about politics or religion on the show. We don't do that. We talk about things that bring people together as the beer and the wine do. So that's what we're doing tonight. Now, tonight, I have a very interesting beer we're going to try. I've never tried it before, and we're going to try it tonight, and we'll see how it tastes. I've heard some mixed reviews about this beer, so we'll see how it fares. Also, we're going to toast Labor Day. Of course, this is a national day, so we're going to toast Labor Day. And I have a special birthday toast for someone who has really been innovative in the podcast space. Yes, and I'll get to that in just a little bit. But before we get started, I'd like to tell you where you can join in live if you want to get into the chats live. We are live. We are live on our Facebook page. Is at Drink with Rick, facebook.com/Drink with Rick. YouTube is at Drink with Rick. Twitch is Drink with Rick #1. So you go to twitch.tv/Drink with Rick and the #1, all one word. And on Odyssey, Odyssey is odyssey.com/@drinkwithrick, and the 7. Now, you can find all the direct links right here on this page. For those of you who can see it right now, you can go right there to drinkwithrick.com, click on the Saturday Night Wine Stream page, and you can find the links to wherever you want to go. And also, we are live on our Drink with Rick website. So if you go to Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Wine Stream, you'll see you can watch the show live. I don't have a live chat going on there, but if you click on the post for this episode, and I can show you that actually real quick. You click on the post for this episode of the Saturday Night Wine Stream. I've got to refresh this actually. It hasn't been refreshed since last night. Okay, there we are. This is tonight's Labor Day special episode. If you click on that post, and you'll get a right here. You'll get a box down here below. There it is, comment box. And you type in your comments, and I will respond to comment. It won't be right away, but you will see it. I will see it eventually after the show, and I'll respond to it in the next episode of Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Wine Stream. Now let me get back here to camera one. There we go. All right, so tonight, let me show you the beer we're going to drink. First, let's get into the chat, see if we have one of the chats starting off. And I think, I'm in the chat. No worries. Okay. Tonight, let me show you the beer that we're going to drink tonight on the Labor Day special. This is what we're drinking. It's called Speculous Cookie Butter Beer. Yes, it's a cookie butter beer. I don't know, it just seemed apropos. I had a number of different beers we could have tasted for Labor Day, but this is the one that I chose, and because I've been wanting to try it. It sounds really, really interesting. I love cookie butter. I love cookies. So cookie butter beer, that sounded really interesting to me. Now, let me see if I can go to the back of it here. And that's the back of it. We'll get right back to the beer in just a moment. First of all, let me show you the beer because it has been chilling. In the official, okay, I got to get a long shot. The official Drink with Rick ice bucket. It's been in there with some ice. I have that ready. We're going to take it out right now, as a matter of fact, because this is only a 1 hour show. And I have my glass ready, the official beer mug ready. Let's go back to the beer for a minute. Also, for those who are listening to the podcast later, I almost forgot about this. You can, if you can't watch now or you can't watch later, you can always listen later to the podcast. The podcast goes out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Blueberry.com, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Amazon Music, podcastindex.org. That is the Podfather site, by the way, Adam Curry's website. And by email, if you go to drinkwithrick.com, click on the subscribe page, click on the subscribe by email, put your email address in the little box there, send it off to me, and you'll get the latest episode of Drink with Rick, the podcast, as soon as it drops, and no salesman will call. Now, the podcast generally goes out on Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern time on Monday nights. We have one going out for last night's show. If anyone missed it, we have that one going out tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Tomorrow being Monday, September 4th. That's actually Labor Day. This Labor Day special, is actually going out on the 5th. So that'll be the next day, because it takes me a little time to, edit it and all that sort of thing. Anyway, that's what we've got there. Also, you can buy me coffee if you like. To support the show, you can buy me a coffee or 2 or 3 or whatever. Just go ahead and if you want to contribute. It doesn't really pay for this is a very expensive show, so it doesn't really pay for, the lights and that sort of thing. What it does do is it helps pay for the prices that we give away on the show. That's what it covers, the prizes on the show. So if you want to, you can go ahead and contribute to that. Also, you can like and subscribe and follow and whatever on all the venues there, Twitch and Twitter. Not Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. It's @DrinkWithRick. You can follow and like and subscribe and all that in all those venues, and that would be great. That would be very, very helpful. You don't have to. There's no hard obligation to do that. But if you do, that would really, really make me feel a lot better. It would. It really does help, and I appreciate your support. Okay, so this is what we've got for beer tonight. I'm going to move it out of the way of that. And let me show another picture, the picture of it again. Speculous Cookie Butter Beer. Imperial, it says down the bottom there, Imperial Golden Ale with toasted coconut, vanilla beans, and natural flavors. Now this sounds very interesting because toasted coconut, I don't know about that. I talked about that last night on the Saturday Night Wine Stream, the regular wine stream, and I talked about how I didn't really care much for coconut. My wife loves it. I'm not crazy about it, but in very, very small amounts, it can help enhance the flavor of certain things. Now, here's the back of it. I'm going to read the back. It says, Speculoos cookie butter beer made with whole vanilla beans, milk, sugar, and toasted coconut. This full-bodied ale pairs with just about any treat topped with your favorite deliciously unusual cookie butter spread. Really? Any treat? Okay, so if I have a treat topped with a cookie butter spread, and I think we actually do have something like that downstairs, but I didn't even bother to get it. I should have tried it. Wow. Maybe we should stop the show and we go down and get it and we do it over again. Nah. Okay, so whole vanilla beans, milk, sugar, and toasted coconut. Now, reading the side of this can, it says, savor it, pour slowly into a stem glass, savor at 40 degrees Fahrenheit, proudly brewed and canned by Hardywood Park in Richmond, Virginia. This is a craft brewery in Richmond. It was established in 2011. And it's the ingredients in this beer, it says alcohol 9.5%. If you go back to the front again, alcohol 9.5% by volume, which is pretty high for a beer, actually. 9.5%, that's pretty close to some wines. In this 16 fluid ounce, 1 pint can, that's a little bit on the high side. But I saw something else. Oh, yes, in the back of this beer again, it says at the bottom, it says contains lactose and coconut. The lactose being what I presume they're referring to as the milk sugar. That would be the lactose. So that's the beer. Now, once again, I'm not crazy about coconut. I'm not. So what we're going to do is... I'm not crazy about coconut, really. But we're going to try it and see how it fares with this beer. And once again, I've read some mixed reviews on it, so I don't know what to make of it. I may like it, I may not. We'll see. Let me go back to the chats for just a moment, see what's going on in the chats. And we're good in the chats. Okay. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I missed one. The Beer Jesus is in the chat. The Beer Jesus says, hello, everyone. And hello right back at you, the Beer Jesus. I'm glad you're here. Good to see you here tonight. Beer Jesus says, coconut, honestly, in barrel-aged beer helps with the vanilla. Really? Okay, that's... I'm not used to having coconut in any beer, but that's an interesting... So the coconut in the barrel-aged beer actually helps bring out the vanilla flavor. Is that what you're saying? That is interesting because I love vanilla flavor. That's the thing. I don't like coconut, but I like vanilla. Do you like coconut? The Beer Jesus. Have you tried this before? Have you tried the Speculoos before? If you have, let me know, and let me know what you think of this beer. Beer Jesus says, I once had a barrel-aged stout that tasted like an Almond Joy. And he says, I haven't had one. Well, we're going to try one here in just a moment or two. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and open it right now. And let's try it. Let's just open it up here. Pour it into the glass. Nice and easy. And give it a good, nice head at the end. Nice head at the end. There we go. There we go. All right, that's good. A nice little head there at the end. Virgie says, currently enjoying me some Act Robler Marzen. Smoked Marzen from Bamberg, huge malt profile character, and smoked ham it smells of. So that sounds like it might be a good thing to have with a smoked ham. Along with it, might complement it. Well, that's something you could probably have with bacon, right? You can have, honestly, people say bacon with beer. You can have... Come on, there isn't much that bacon doesn't go with, right? I mean, they put bacon on just about everything. They put bacon on desserts now. Bacon ice cream, things like that. We got onto a bacon track, didn't we? All right, so here's the beer. I'm going to give it a little whiff first. Oh yeah, actually this is very interesting. And it's very strong in the vanilla. You may be correct on this, the Beer Jesus, with the coconut enhancing the vanilla flavor, because I don't smell a lot of coconut, but I do smell a lot of vanilla in this beer. Very strong, and it does smell a little bit like cookie butter. I had cookie butter. Okay, now wow, that's interesting. There is a lot going on here. It does kind of have a cookie butter, almost a cookie dough, kind of a cookie dough kind of taste. But yeah, I can taste the coconut. Now I can taste the coconut in this beer. I'm not sure how to react to this. Coconut and vanilla, yeah. It does. You know what though? You were saying the beer juice. You were saying that it you've had a beer that tastes like an almond joy, and this kind of, in a way, this kind of sort of tastes like that. Almost like it. It tastes like, yeah, it tastes a lot like coconut now. The thing is, though, I can't say it's a bad coconut taste for me. I'm not a coconut person, as I just mentioned before, but I don't think I don't think it tastes really bad. It's just very, very different. You know, it's I'm not really sure what to make of it, to be honest. I mean, it's actually, as far as the beer is concerned, it has a nice body to it. Has a nice body, has a nice color to it. I like the color, and I like the body. It's pretty good. It's got some hops in it. I wouldn't say it's a pale ale, but it's somewhat hoppy. But this is the overall taste is very different. Beer Jesus says, I'm a level 3, I don't know how you pronounce this, Cicerone? And I'm pairing it with slow-cooked ribs in a poblano coleslaw with Carolina barbecue sauce. Okay, this sounds pretty interesting. Slow-cooked ribs and coleslaw and a Carolina barbecue sauce. Okay, now I'm getting hungry. I had dinner at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm getting hungry now. I love a good barbecue. Are you in North Carolina, by the way? If you're in North Carolina, Carolinians really, really are proud of their barbecue. I mean, that's like the home of barbecue, North Carolina. I've had good barbecue in a lot of different places. Some Carolina barbecue is pretty good. There are a couple of places up here that in the Charlotte area that I like, and then one in the Boone, in the Blowing Rock area. Beer Juice says great head retention. And coconut, it's all about the texture. If it's chewy, I wouldn't want it. I definitely agree with you there. Last night on the regular Saturday Night Wine Stream, I was talking about the type of coconut that I don't like is, when they mix the coconut shavings in with the like you got a cake there, and they have the coconut icing on them, mix the shavings in there. Kind of, I can't really stand that. I don't like the texture. It's almost, to me, it's like you've got fingernails in your mouth or something. It does. I mean, I just don't like it. Some people like it, not for me. But you're talking about this beer, great head retention. It's actually, yeah. There's okay. Beer Juice says a sommelier of beers is a cicerone. I've seen the word. I've just never really heard it pronounced, to be honest. And there is a beer. So I take it you've taken the beer judging certification. I kind of looked at that, and I thought, well, that's pretty interesting. But I opted to go after the mead certification. There's a certification for they have certifications for everything. Goodness. There's a beer cert course for beer judging, and I'm pretty sure that you've done that. Sommelier of beers is a Cicerone. Is it pronounced Cicerone? I've seen it written everywhere. I've just never really heard it pronounced, to be honest. And I'm not a sommelier. I'm not a wine sommelier. I'm not a beer expert. I'm just an everyman who likes wine and beer as well as other drinks. And that's about 99.9% of us out there. So then that's why I do the show. We do it pretty much just so I give my opinions from an everyman perspective, not from a perspective of someone who has a really, really trained palate. Birgie says, no, I am not. Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay, so from Ohio. Funny, my family spent a year and a half in Ohio, in Chillicothe. I went up there, visited Chillicothe once. Visited the paper mill there. That was interesting. And took a tour of the paper plant. Oh, man, those things really stink, those paper plants. Paper mills. But I showed a film last night, one of my Super 8 films from back in the day, the Deltas. My brother and his friends had a band called the Deltas, and we shot a film up there back in 1979 on Super 8. And I showed that last night on the after show on the Wine Stream. And you can go see it. I'm going to have links to it up if you're interested. I have links to it on Drink with Rick coming up here tomorrow. And also, I showed a feature film, the feature film that we made, Space Age from Mice Planet Alpha back in the day, also on Super 8. So the beer just says, yes, that kills the beer to me, and if it's like German chocolate cake, I wouldn't want it. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. And that's one of those examples of the coconut in there. It's the German chocolate cake. That's a prime example. I can't eat German chocolate cake for that reason. Beer Jesus says, I have, yes. Okay, so you have done the beer judging then. That's pretty interesting. I looked at that and I thought that's pretty cool, but I think if I'm not mistaken, I think you actually have to go there to take. I think one level of test you can take online after some study, and then you have to go get a second level of certification or something. You have to actually go there. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's how it worked. The mead one, I think you can just totally do online. So I thought, okay, well that's more my speed. Beer Jesus says, mead is insane. I want to do one for absinthe. I got a new bottle of it. Has elements of green and, light grassy notes, warm clove, and a finish of spearmint. Well, that sounds pretty interesting. We reviewed a mead about 3 weeks ago on the show, and it was... I'm trying to remember which one it was, because I've had a few meads, and I really like mead. I've become quite enamored with mead, and I bought a second bottle of it last week, and we reviewed one on the show a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed it. I did finish off that bottle. I did. It was hard to put down. It was very difficult to stop drinking it. It's easy to drink. Wow, and it was good. I really enjoyed it. Mead is really cool. So now I want to go see about getting a mead certification, just to have one, And it's not that expensive, and it seems like it's not too difficult to get. Compared to the beer and of course the wine, you have to, if you want to be a sommelier of any sort, you have to, it's a lot of intense training for that. The Beer Jesus says mead is insane. Oh yeah, I read that. Okay. Let me check the other chats here for just a moment and see what's going on. And my lovely wife Cheese in the chat on YouTube also. She says hi and hi right back at you. She has a dessert waiting for me right after the show. This is sort of I think it's kind of a dessert type of beer. It's kind of sweet. It is. This beer is, it's not too sweet. Not as sweet as, I was seeing some reviews on it, and some people were saying it's just too sweet. I don't think so. It's kind of sweet, but not too sweet. It's a beer. I mean, it definitely is a beer. Tastes like a beer. So I don't think it's sweet that much, but it's like if you put coconut and vanilla in this beer, that's basically what you got there. But very interesting, and I tell you what, it really retains. It retains the head quite nicely, actually. There's a lot of. Well, I wasn't really expecting that. The Beer Jesus says, I would say a good tiramisu or a lemon sorbet to balance. A lemon sorbet, wow. I don't have either. I love lemon, I love lemon sorbet. I love sorbets in general. And it's been a long time since I've had one. The Beer Jesus says, for something savory, I would go with a semi-hard cheese. Semi-hard cheese. I don't have any of those up there with me either. I don't have any food up here with me at all. My lovely wife, she offered to make a plate for me here just before the show, but I said, well, I wasn't going to pair it with anything. I'm just going to have the beer, because this is basically just a short special tonight. It's not the regular Saturday night wine stream where we have the wine and we have the platter, and my wife, she makes a big the big presentation, food presentation on a food and all that kind of stuff. It's just kind of a special I'm doing tonight for the beer. Actually, it's for Labor Day. But I wanted to try the beer. The Beer Jesus says, nutty cheeses do best with sweet beers. I have heard that. and I have tried that. And but the beers that I've had are not really all that sweet. Beer Jesus says Colby especially. And yes, it might work with this. I love good Colby. We have some Colby Jack downstairs, and I love Colby Jack. For that, I would go with Fontina. Let's see. No, you might want to try this first. This is a very, very different beer from what I'm used to. Now, as I mentioned many times before in the other beer reviews I've done, I like, IPAs. A lot of people really like IPAs. I find them sometimes a little too hoppy. But the kind of beers I like are more of the malts. I love the porters. And we had a porter, we reviewed a porter a few weeks ago that I really, really enjoyed. And I bought another case or a 6-pack of it here the other day, which was really, really good. It was a vanilla porter, and I really like the vanilla porters, chocolate porters. And Sam Adams, every year around the holidays, always puts out their special package here with their holiday beers, and they usually include 1 or 2 chocolate box with them. And those are really, I've just fallen in love with those things, but they only offer it in those packs. You have to buy the whole pack of 12 beers or whatever to get 2 of them. And they've never really sold them as singles or in their own 6-pack or anything. And otherwise, and they only offer it during the holidays. Otherwise, I'd be buying that all the time because I love their chocolate bock. It's really great. Bridget says, I'm a Belgian sour beer lover and German beer fanatic. I have some German beers down here, as a matter of fact. I have a couple of German beers down there waiting to be, and we probably could have done one tonight, but I didn't. But anyway, so We've got. Let me get to the toasting here, because before I get too toasty with this beer, 9.5% ABV. This is actually, and this is it right here. Cookie butter beer, 9.5% ABV, which I find now the Beer Jesus. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but most beers that I've tried are around between 4.9 and 6% ABV. I find a 9% ABV beer to be more like, almost like a wine, because there are some wines that are around 8.5 to 9%. Those are the ones that my wife prefers. And I find that to be really, really, there's some meads that are around that ABV level. But the beers, I don't know. I find this to be kind of a high content, alcohol content for a beer, to be honest. Beer Jesus says, Chocolate Bock makes a great prime rib pairing. Use a honey mustard and you're golden. I see what you did there, but you know what? I have not had it with prime rib, but I have had it with some other meats, the Chocolate Box. And they are really, really, you're correct. You're correct. Those are a good pairing for that. And when Beer Jesus says, when you think about average percent of good beer, I would say 5 to 6% is optimal and most desired. And I agree with that as well. And I would say that I don't like, because here's the problem when you get, particularly with a beer, you kind of want to enjoy the beer, the beer taste. At least I do. I like to enjoy the taste of the beer rather than the alcohol. When I start tasting alcohol in the beer, that's over the general taste, and I tend to kind of not like the beer so much because I'm not. I mean, almost. Some people, that's what they drink the beer for. It's like, more alcohol. Yeah, we'll add some of this to it. But I mean, that's why they make that's why they make Jaeger bombs and stuff, right? The beer is just a chaser. Let's get more alcohol in here and just the beer's there just as part of the drink. But really, to enjoy a good beer as it is, I want to be able to enjoy the beer, the taste of the beer, and not the alcohol. And that's just me. That's just my own personal taste. Beer Jesus says anything 10% or higher is absurd if it's not backed by a barrel. Yeah, I think we're kindred spirits on that one, because spirits. Yeah. Where's my rim shot there? But Beer Jesus says, when I taste warmth, I can enjoy it if it's a cold night, but for me, beer needs to be socially acceptable at 5%. And yes, I can agree with that 100%. Absolutely. So anyway, let's go ahead and do the toasting real quick. I'm glad you're here, by the way, Beer Jesus, and I'm learning some things from you tonight with the beer, and I appreciate you being here. I should have you on. You know what? I should have you on the show sometime, and we could just talk about beers. I don't know if you're up to that, but I'll invite you on the show. We can talk about beers sometime. Have you do check in StreamYard or Skype or whatever, and we'll talk about that sometime. That would be a lot of fun. Beer Jesus says, I'll gladly join you. I radio host on Twitch. Well, I'm glad to hear. By the way, and this is not. I know this is not something that a lot of Twitch streamers do, but I'm all for cross promotion. So if you want to go ahead and do it, I'm okay with it. If you want to go ahead and post, if you're streaming on Twitch, go ahead and post your Twitch channel. Okay, it's okay. I'm good with it. I think the The mods are off tonight, so I'm not worried about it. It's just me. So you go ahead and put your. It's all right. It's fine. Okay. I'm endorsing it. I'm saying it's okay. Beer Jesus says that's why I love German beer. It's high in liter glasses, but it's because all sorts of celebration. And I'm glad with that. Let's segue into the celebration because I want to get into the. Beer Jesus says I wouldn't do that. My music is the music I play is not very friendly unless you're a fan of the genre. What's the music genre, by the way? What's the music genre that you're playing? You never know. I might actually already be following you, because I follow a number of. Are you DJing on Twitch at all? I might be following you already. Anyway, the. Let me go back here. Okay. Extreme metal, black, and death metal. Ah. I do it on. The Beard just says I do it on Twitch. Yes. I'm not quite so much into death metal per se, but I have a few Twitch streamers who are into metal. Now, I did do my metal days, and I still listen to some metal quite a bit. And believe it or not, I do have. I listen to a lot of different kind of music. Death metal, not necessarily my thing per se, but I have listened to it from time to time. So very anti-religious music. That is why I say that. I understand. No problem. No worries. Okay, so it's a warning out of respect. Birgie says it's a warning out of respect to your followers, and I do appreciate that. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. You know, here's the thing about Twitch and the Twitch community in general. And say what you want about Twitch. I've said quite a few things about Twitch in the past, both pro and con, but the Twitch community overall is actually a pretty decent community. And you have folks like the Beer Jesus who are I mean, there are people out there that are, start off trying to grow their channels, and most of them don't really even know what they're doing. They're kind of doing it without realizing that it's not it's not good etiquette to do it. But the Beer Jesus is an example of someone who's part of the Twitch community who's very respectful of that, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I do thank you for it. So let's go ahead, and before we get too much farther into this, let's go ahead and toast Labor Day, because it's Labor Day. You know what? Let's do this. Okay, Labor Day, because it's an American holiday. I'm putting the flag up because it's basically an American holiday. Labor Day, let's talk about that for just a minute, because I've been laboring for decades. And I should be, technically, I should be retiring soon. My wife wants me to retire soon. She probably wants me to retire from the show, too. But I'm not ready to retire yet. I still have a lot of life and work left in me, I hope. But here's the thing. I looked up on Wikipedia to look at the history of Labor Day. And for those who don't know, I mean, Labor Day is a federal holiday in this country, in the United States. It's specifically for here, and it's celebrated on the first Monday in September. And this honors and recognizes American laborers. And in fact, actually, it has its roots in the American labor movement. And it's actually to celebrate the achievements that laborers have made in this country. And I think it started in the late 19th century, and trade unions and labor, different labor movements came into the scene, and trade unionists, they wanted to have this day set aside to celebrate labor, and that was how it started. But it's become a real holiday, a chance for everybody to just kind of take a day off from work and just relax, get on the grill some stuff, and just have a good time, get with their families and friends, and have some beer, wine, whatever you want to drink, and just enjoy the fact of just being able to rest from your labor and look back on and say, hey, you know what? I've done a great job here. Let me take a break from this and just enjoy the fact that that I've accomplished the things that I've accomplished. So here is to Labor Day. Here's to Labor Day 2023. I'll drink to that. And this beer is starting to grow on me just a little bit. But I will toast it again. Here is to Labor Day. By the way, I hope you're all toasting with me. If not, raise a glass right now and let's toast Labor Day again. I only have one can of this. Okay, so yeah, that's our toast of Labor Day. Labor Day 2023. Also, let me check the chats just for a moment again here with Facebook. Okay, we're good everywhere else. And yeah, that's right. And the Beer Jesus says, may liberty, labor, love for your neighbor be this day, and enjoy the working life, because if we can't enjoy it, no one will. Bless you, Teddy Roosevelt. We miss you. Who is the U.S. going to call the trust buster, Teddy? You know, once again, here's to Labor Day. And the fact that we're all, well, a lot of us, and not everybody's off on Labor Day. But I am. Are you off on Labor Day? Beer Jesus, you're taking Labor Day off, I presume? Okay, and we have another day to toast here. We have another. This actually came up suddenly. My friend and I don't know if you, for those of you who are podcasters or into podcasting there, you know I am a longtime podcaster. I've been podcasting for over 17 years. And my son, Tom Antio, who's one of the mods, who is actually, I think he's in the middle of a stream himself or a podcast himself right now. He is a second generation old OG podcaster. He's been podcasting for 13 years now. And we would not be podcasters at all if it wasn't for the Podfather. Podcasting, technically as it is, wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the Podfather. The Podfather being Adam Curry. Adam Curry, who was a VJ on, he was an MTV VJ back in the early days. As a matter of fact, when I was working at WOFL Channel 35 back in the day, in the 80s and the early 90s, I used to watch him on MTV along with some of his co-VJs over there. But I remember Adam Curry pretty well, watching him quite a bit. And the thing that Adam Curry did was he helped develop the RSS feed basically for podcasts, that basically the enclosure. The RSS already existed, but he developed the enclosure system for being able to distribute audio through RSS. And that is what made it a podcast. And this was about the time that the iPod came around, and you could plug the iPod into your computer, and you could subscribe, using the RSS feed. You could just automatically have these podcasts pulled over. And that's how podcasting was born. It was a way to distribute the audio across the internet. That's what podcasting is. Basically putting it into this is the way I like to describe it now, is because the term was originally coined based on the iPod, the Apple iPod. But the way I like to describe it now is you're taking an audio file and you're putting it in kind of an enclosure, kind of a pod, and you're casting it out everywhere, syndicating it everywhere. And that's why it's still, I think the term podcasting is still quite relevant, even though the iPods are no longer around. The term itself is very relevant today because it completely describes what you're doing to distribute the audio. But Adam Curry and Dave Weiner, they developed this thing, and Adam Curry is known as the Podfather, the father of podcasting. Because if it wasn't really for him and Dave Weiner, that we really wouldn't have podcasts as they are. Well, it turns out I happened to see a post on Facebook today from my friend Daniel J. Lewis, who is also an OG podcaster from way back. Daniel has been podcasting just as long, if not a little bit longer than me. And he reminded everybody that, hey, today is the Podfather's birthday. September 3rd is the Podfather's birthday. I believe he's 59 years old. That's according to Daniel, that he is 59 years old. I'll go with that. So I would like to take this time to toast the Podfather, Adam Curry. Thank you very, very much for giving us podcasting. And here's to you, Adam Curry. Happy, happy birthday. And may you continue to have many, 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 many more. And I will toast you again just because I can. To Adam Curry, the father of podcasting, happy, happy birthday. And yeah, the reason that I'm that I'm really doing this, because if it wasn't for Adam Curry, I probably wouldn't be working where I am today, because I'm doing this part of my job. Podcasting is part of my job that I'm doing over by Two Way Radios now, as well as the YouTubing and things like that. But if it wasn't for Adam Curry, I would not be doing what I'm doing today. So I really appreciate it, Adam. Thank you very, very much. Once again, here's to Adam Curry, the father of podcasting. Happy birthday, and thank you very, very much. I do appreciate it. And let's go back to camera one here for a minute. The Beer Jesus says, I'm unemployed due to disability thanks to my autism and impairs me to drive. I understand. And you know what, though? I think that with the autism factor, there are some options. There are always some options there. And I don't know what your situation is really per se too much, but there are options these days with the technology that we have. There are some options. But I want to say thank you for being here. And the Beer Jesus, by the way, I think you have a lot of knowledge with your knowledge of beer. I think you have a lot of options there too. I think there's some talents there and some abilities you have that I think would. I think that could take you pretty far. I think it would. So I would say. I would say explore some of those. Those are great. Just chatting with you here in the chat, the information that you've given me here, I think you have some talents here that I think can definitely. I think that definitely worth utilizing, and I don't think you'd stay. Even disability or no. I think you definitely could go some places. I really do. All right, I'll check Facebook. My good friend Ed is on Facebook. Sorry I missed you there. You just came in, right? Ed's on Facebook. Says, I remember some labors I went through to write a script once. Labors of Hercules. Yeah, I remember those too. The labors of Hercules. Okay, what Ed's referring to, by the way, and I'm glad you're here, by the way, Ed. Well, we're going to close this up here in just a few minutes because I promised my wife it's only going to be a 1 hour show and a 3 hour tour. A 3 hour tour. Anyway, so yes, a 3 hour tour. Anyway, bad jokes. Okay, bad jokes. Here comes my mom going.
No.
That's my mom, by the way. That really is my mom. Well, she's no longer with us, but here's to my mom, by the way. So, Ed, yes, what Ed's referring to is years ago, because Ed and I go way back. We were making films on Super 8. Ed and I were, I was looking at doing maybe an animated film. So Ed, out of the goodness of his heart, he, because really, I mean, we really didn't have the resources to do some kind of big production, but he says, I can write a script. I was thinking about it would be kind of cool to do. And this was before the Disney days. Not the Disney days. I'm saying before the Disney film Hercules came out. This was before Hercules, and I had no idea Disney was going to do a film called Hercules. And we were working for Disney, too, at the time. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be cool to make a film, make an animated film about Hercules? So Ed sat down and he wrote up a really elaborate script about Hercules that we could use in the film. I read the script. I liked the script. Actually, Ed's a pretty good writer, and you sell yourself short, I think, Ed, because or at least at the time that you did. I think you're a good writer, and I like the script. It's just that we didn't have the ability to. We bit off more than we could chew. We didn't have the ability to do that kind of animation, but as a matter of fact, I think I still have a copy of your original Hercules script somewhere here. It's in a folder somewhere, but I think I still have a copy of it. I saved it for another reason because I was really impressed with the effort that you put into it. You put in a lot of effort and work into that, and I think that I always kind of felt bad that we really couldn't do it because I was like, you spent some time on this, you spent some effort, you spent some work on it. And I always felt really bad the fact that we couldn't actually really do it, but I liked it, and I appreciate Ed, and I appreciate you, Ed, on that. That's a lot of effort that went into that. So anyway. But Ed did a lot of other things. He did some other things that also contributed to our films. He did the soundtrack for The Analyst, which we've shown a number of times in the past on the show, on Drink with Rick, and he helped us with some animation on some other things that we did. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, this beer. This is a very interesting beer. I'm going to show it to you again here. Speculoos Cookie Butter Beer. Now this was something very, very different, and I thought to myself, I don't know. I I wasn't sure what to expect, to be honest. And then when I looked it up, there were some very mixed reviews about it. There were some people that liked it, and there were some people that absolutely hated it, and everything in between. So I said, I want to try it for myself, but it sounded great. And I found it at Trader Joe's, and I forgot to mention when I paid for it. I paid for it because I have the receipt right here. For this 16-ounce can of cookie butter, which is now empty, cookie butter beer, 9.5% alcohol by volume. That's a lot of alcohol on this beer. Is that really what it is? Yeah, 9.5. Wow. I paid $3.75. Now, I saw online that Trader Joe's was selling it initially. This beer hasn't actually been out that long. This is a craft beer made in Richmond, Virginia, and I think it came out in 2021. I think and it's been around for a couple of years, but I've never tried it before. But I went to Trader Joe's, and I kept, every time I went to Trader Joe's, I saw this on the shelf. And I was thinking, I'd like to try this, but I don't know. It's not the right time. So I went this past week, I should say, to Trader Joe's, and I said, well, try it. Let's try it, and let's do it for the Labor Day special. So I did. And for the Hardywood Park Trader Joe's, that's who makes it. That's how it's listed here. Speculous cookie butter beer. I paid $3.75. I was told it was $4.99. I paid $3.75. I don't know if that's because I got a good deal on it, or because they're trying to clear them out. because of the bad reviews. I don't know, to be honest. But I will say that it's a very interesting beer. Coconut. Once again, I don't know. I don't like coconut myself. But I will say that this is very different from what I'm used to for the beers, and I can taste the coconut. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's just I can taste the coconut, but it's not bad. That's about what I can say. and there is some vanilla in there, and like the Beer Jesus said, the coconut is used to kind of bring out the flavor of the vanilla when it's in aged, when it's in the barrels. I learned something new from the Beer Jesus. Here's to the Beer Jesus, by the way. Thank you very, very much for all of your good information. I appreciate it. Appreciate it very much. The beer actually grew me. I don't know if I would really recommend this. I think this is an acquired taste. This is my final review of the beer, by the way. I think it's an acquired taste. If you like coconut, you'll probably like this beer. My wife, who does not like beers much, she might actually like this beer. I'm kind of on the fence as to whether I'd buy another can of this. I might. It'd have to be a single. I don't think I'd buy a 6-pack of this. I might try the Beer Jesus recommendation to try it with a couple of different foods. But overall, it's not bad. It's different. It's very, very different. I love cookie butter. I'm not so sure I like this cookie butter beer, but I don't hate it. It's okay. It's just different. But I tell you what, though, I'm glad I got the opportunity. I'm glad I had the opportunity to try it, because it is a very different taste, and I like to try different things. So for that, I would say it's okay. It's okay. I'll give it a that's okay, and I'll give it. All right, well, it's. I give it more than that. Come on, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I want to say the Beer Jesus, thank you for being here. It really helps out to give some perspective on this and on beer in general. I do appreciate it. And for tonight, I think that's going to do it for our special Labor Day special. And I think we'll close it up by now because I promised my lovely wife Chi that we would close it in an hour, and that's where we're at. We're at about an hour, so maybe a little bit over that. Let me check the chats one more time to make sure we're good here. All right, we're good. So I want to thank everyone who joined me, and those who are watching the chats, because there were folks watching in the chats, or watching on the different venues, but weren't getting into the chats. But I really appreciate your being here. And the Beer Jesus, I want to thank you very, very much for being here, as well as my good friend Ed. Thank you for being here in the chats. At this point, I want to remind everyone, first of all, a couple of things. First, camera 3's up, actually. You can purchase, and you know what, the Beer Jesus? I would like to do this, because you don't have one yet, but I would like, first of all, we have the official Drink with Rick wine tasting notebook and the Drink with Rick beer tasting notebook. Excuse me. Wow, this 9.5% alcohol. It's starting to hit. Anyway, these sell on Amazon for $8.99. $8.99. You can buy them on Amazon. But I tell you what, the Beer Jesus, I really appreciate your being here tonight. And for that, I would like to say that if you send me a shipping address where I can ship it to you, a valid shipping address to rick@savoymedia.com. Don't worry, I don't do anything else with that other than just ship this to you. Okay, that's it. But if you send me a valid shipping address, it can be a P.O. box. It's fine. rick@savoymedia.com. I will send you a copy of the Drink with Rick beer tasting notebook. You probably don't need it because you being certified for beer, you probably don't need it, but hey, it's good. It's basically pages and pages of review notes, tasting notes, and things like that you can use. That might help. I don't know, but if you send it to me, just go ahead and I will send you a free copy of the official Drink with Rick beer tasting notebook. And what I will do also is send you, along with it, I'll send you a pair of the official Drink with Rick wine tasting, or actually they're just coasters. You can put wine, beer, whatever you want on it, but I'll send you a pair of the coasters as well. Because I really, really appreciate your participation in the chat tonight. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Okay, so I think that does it for tonight's special. I want to thank everybody for being here with me. I want to thank the Beer Jesus for all of his contributions and for being here tonight. I also want to thank my good friend Ed for being here, and my lovely wife Chi, and everyone who is joining in and watching. Because I know we have folks watching that are not necessarily in a position where they can get into the chat, but they are watching nonetheless. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here on this Labor Day. And I want to say once again a happy Labor Day to everyone. And I just got this thing. I got this thing today on Amazon. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. We have a place where Amazon gets all the returns from, and you can go over there and you can buy, you can rummage through the returns and buy stuff there from Amazon. It's run by Amazon, actually. And you can buy this stuff and pick it up for, real cheap. Because the sellers don't want it back. So you can just go over there and buy it real cheap. So I picked up this bell here. I thought that was pretty interesting. I still owe Tom Antio some money for it. because he paid for it for me. Anyway, I thought, hey, this bell could be fun. It could be fun to just sit here and ring the bell during the show. A little ASMR for those who enjoy ASMR on Drink with Rick. And for those who, if it triggers you in some way, please let me know, because I don't want to be hitting the bell if it triggers you somehow. Okay. Anyway, so that's our show for tonight. I want to thank everybody for being here with me once again. And before we go, there is one more celebrity I want to bring out, and it is none other than Roadkill Bill. Yes, the inimitable, the chewed up Roadkill Bill, with a special message for everyone. And his message is, please do not drink and drive. Drink in the comfort of your home, your apartment, your hotel room, your dwelling, whatever it is. Just stay there. If you absolutely have to go somewhere, call an Uber, call a Lyft, call a cab, call a friend who hasn't been drinking, who has a valid driver's license, who can take you home. But other than that, just stay put, because it's not worth it. You don't want to put yourself or others in harm's way. Please also don't text and drive either, because that's also dangerous. Because I care about each and every one of you. And I want you to have a great Labor Day holiday and a great week. But most of all, I want you to have a safe Labor Day holiday and a safe week. So you can join me here again next week on the Saturday Night Wine Stream, and we can all get together and drink with Rick. Good night.